What's up, everybody? It is me, your boy Gilbert,
and me, Harry,
and this is the Fulcrum Entertainment Podcast, number 300. We did it. We made it. We made it so fucking far. Our podcast is three. It's almost as old as Yoda. not really. We did it, everyone. We made it to 300.
Spartans, ready your breakfast and eat hearty. But tonight, we dine in hell!
That's right. That 300. I was debating that or the fucking "This is Sparta," but like that's overdone. But what's up, everyone? What's up to Patrick in the comments in here? Here, actually, I'll put that up so we can start seeing those. We have a new little feature. We can start seeing these in the up lower right hand corner here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so holy hell, Harrison! It has been 300 episodes. It's been almost 7 years. I think I said this off air that on the 23rd of this month, it will have been 7 years to the day that we started this podcast, all the way back then in 2018.
2018, Jesus, that
literally just before.
That's so far away. That's such a long time ago. That's not okay.
Like an entire pandemic came and went between that.
Jesus, yeah.
Like, dude, I think about that all the time. When I look back, like our stuff is still on like Spotify. Like our old episodes are still on there, and I look back on those every now and then. I'm like, fuck, dude, we were so like, we were so younger, and we were so bright-eyed and hopeful for the future. And look at what happened to us.
Yeah, I had short hair.
This was it. You did have short hair.
Yeah.
You did have short. You always had a beard, though. You always did have a beard. I will say that.
I've always got a beard, yeah, but I didn't have the long hair like back in 2018. I was only like 2020 when I started doing that because like pandemic, and I was like, well, now's the time to do
it. It's crazy to think back on those episodes, and like sometimes I'll like. I mean, I think I've gotten rid of a bunch of the ones that had Sebastian in them, just for obvious fucking reasons. But again, every now and then I'll go back to Spotify and look at those ones, like the all the reviews that we did and all the commentaries, and even the time where we fucked with you and we made you watch the fucking Zack Snyder, made you watch the Joss Whedon fucking Justice League.
I was so fucking mad. That was such. Oh man,
you were such a good sport. You were such a good sport about it.
I remember. I think like when that happened, I I just had my laptop like on the floor and I was just lying down next to it. I was like barely watching the movie. It was just like, I'm here. Just
fucking hate you guys.
This is the best you can get out of me.
Again, if you want to hear it firsthand, go back and look at it. It's on again Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find the podcast. But go look at it because Harrison, you can hear the audible like what. Oh my god! What? Like you could hear like him just realizing that we had tricked him and how pissed off he was getting.
What was it? We were supposed. I was told we were doing something else. I can't remember what it was that I thought we were doing.
I forget. Yeah, like we're watching like another. I forget what movie it was. But we were supposed to be doing a different watch party for a different movie, one that we had all agreed on. We were all happy about, but it was also April Fool's Day, so I'm like. I think that's what it was. It was a day in April that we were doing it. It just happened to be on April 1st. So we just wanted to fuck with you for that reason.
That's madness.
So yeah, I want to say shout out to dubbing it out. Yeah. And then Tasha, we got Andrew in here. We got Patrick. I'd like to reminisce about some of our favorite bots from the previous 300 episodes. I just got or some of the favorites. Bats.
Yeah.
Bats. Just got my rabies shot booster in it. What? Patrick? I think that's one thing I don't. Do you? How many fans? Or how many regulars have we had in here now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've had Patrick, we've had Hans, we've had Mr. Action. I remember Daspans for a while, but he stopped coming around.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we've had a few guys who've joined us for ages, and obviously, like T, we've seen you around here for quite a while now. It's real nice that we, even though I absolutely understand that people come and go, but it's always good to see the same names popping up and just continuing the conversation every week.
And it's cool to see that over years, like see people coming back for multiple, like again, an entire pandemic that you guys have been watching us for, like sit here and bullshit for, and I'm like, I can't believe that we've actually gotten this far.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of crazy, really. And especially like I think we talked about it before, but the fact that I was not a host. I was a guest for like an episode, but I kept coming back.
Yeah, no, that. So fuck it. I guess we'll do that. Like, because even though we talked this to death, the story of our inception. Yeah, like you, me, Sebastian, and Marshall. We're all just sitting down and talking about like the audio comic that we did for Star Wars audio comics. And
the Obi and Anakin comic.
Indeed, you were, if I remember correctly, you were Palpatine.
I was Senator Palpatine, but I'm not the Emperor, because the Emperor is like a different guy.
Yeah, no, it was a whole thing. They had to voice multiple, like the same guys for different roles and whatnot. It was a whole thing. But yes, the point is that the four of us started talking, and then I don't know. I think we just started kind of like liked each other's company at first, and now we're just kind of stuck with each other. Nah, but you are still one of my good friends at this point. I mean, we've known each other for damn near a decade almost.
Yeah.
Like
obviously the age gap has been the same between us for all the time. But like, I think like when I came in, it felt like I was like, oh, I'm so much older than all these guys. Like, wow, like I'm like 3 years older than these guys.
I mean, dude, that is nothing at this point. My girlfriend is 12 years older than me.
So. The whole perspective changes the older you get. You're still like, it's not that big a difference now.
What is age, right? See, the problem is when you start going all Diddy on it.
No, it doesn't work in the opposite direction.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Anyway, Dave with a single letter from Cincinnati used to be a regular. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had a Dave in here. We had, I don't know, we had a bunch of different people. Let me see here. Used to come around for the Choose Your Own Adventures show. Then I had a kid went away. Oh yeah. Is dubbing it out your brother or no?
No.
Okay, no. I was like, is it? Did you talk about Jack? Is that Jackson?
I'm pretty sure that's not Jack.
No,
the Choose Your Adventures. I would like to do them again someday, but it's working everything out. There was a period. Like, I think it didn't last too long, but like we were streaming like 5 nights a week, I think, at one point, or like maybe not 5. We did a huge amount of streaming because we were doing like the Halo series, we were doing this. I was doing the Choose Your Own Adventure show, and I think we made. And I did like the Resident Evil 4 stream for a little while, and I was just permanently on stream.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, that's right. You were doing that before they were audiobooks. You were reading the books on stream live, I remember that. And I was doing like game, and I was also like we were doing streams together, and then sometimes I would just do a game stream by myself. Like we were doing a lot of different like just stuff all over the place, and that's kind of been our. We've slowed down significantly, but I think that's just because we're getting older and life is just kind of we have other things to deal with.
Yeah, more stuff. Which and it was sort of getting towards the end of the pandemic, so it was one of those times where it's still like I'm just inside the house, so I might as well be doing this.
That too. Like I think that the pandemic gave us a lot of time to just like fuck around and just kind of find our legs and see what we wanted to do and how the podcast was, or how the channel was going to be. But yeah, no, it's been a ride because I think that we did the podcast originally on the Star Wars Audio Comics channel, and then we moved over to Fulcrum Entertainment in like 2019, like literally just before the pandemic started.
Yeah, and it was around the pandemic time that we started doing them live. Because we used to sort of pre-record for a bit, or I can't remember if we.
Oh God, do you want? Let's talk about that. How fucking annoying! First of all, so anyone who wants to do StreamYard, do StreamYard, or like Restream or OBS, do some kind of like thing like this that helps you, because trying to do that, like record your fucking like audio on a fucking Google Hangout. Oh my fucking Christ.
I know. Well, I think in the early days we were recording our audio separately and sending it to you.
Yeah, and I had to like edit it all together. I had to cut it all together, and it wasn't that hard because most of it was just like you talking, and then 5-10 minutes of like silence, and then you talking again, and then another. So I could kind of just like mix and match and figure out where everyone's. It was kind of like just like a puzzle, but so like a mini game in a video game. But at any rate, it was, that was frustrating. And oh my God, just sometimes our connection wouldn't work. Sometimes like it was like, the someone else's bandwidth or someone else's like thing was like way messed up. So you'd hear them talking like 5-minute delay.
Yeah, I know that we lost our Venom review because the audio recording on my end got fucked. It just broke down like 40 minutes into recording or something like that. It was terrible.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of technical difficulties in the day. I really wish I knew about StreamYard or again Restream or any of these things before that, because that would have made our lives so much fucking easier. But
really
anyway, yeah. But at any rate, that's the past. This is what we have now, and we've evolved in the last 7 years, which thankfully I don't think if we had continued to try to do that, we would not have gotten to 300 episodes.
No. Yeah, I was thinking about like sort of favorite moments of this, and the Justice League thing reminded me of one, which was accidental, and I don't blame anyone for it. But there was one time where I got really fucking mad, and it was because I didn't understand. But it was because, do you remember I messaged in the chat to be like, "What are we doing this week?" And here in the UK, Aquaman and one of the Spider-Man movies, I think it was across the first Spider-Verse movie, came out the same week here in the UK. And I did not know that Aquaman hadn't come out in the States. So I asked you guys, like, what am I going to see, guys? Am I going to see the fish or the spider? And someone, I think like Sebastian or you, was like, oh, go see the fish. So I fully thought we were doing an Aquaman review. Went to go watch that damn movie, turned up and found out no one had seen it. Everyone else went to Spider-Verse, and I was furious.
So yeah, you just like had nothing to say that, and yeah, so you couldn't be on the episode. Oh, dude, I see that, and I completely fucking forgot about the fact that like the Aquaman was released like a week early in your why? What is up with that?
I don't know. I don't know why. The Europeans just wanted Aquaman, I guess.
And, like thinking back on that, like with hindsight, how bad did Aquaman turn out, and how great did the Spider-Verse movies turn out?
I think that was part of it, because like Aquaman wasn't awful, but like you guys were like, we've just seen the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. Like, this is incredible. Like, maybe you love those Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, but that's nothing compared to this cartoon. What the fuck is this?
That was just bad luck. Bad luck all around.
Yeah, bad luck. Yeah.
I mean, we all had moments of being pissed off. One time for an April Fool's joke, Sebastian made me, we were going to do like a comic review of like a Star Wars comic, like an obscure Star Wars comic. And instead, no. I think what it was, we were going to do, I think he told me we were going to do a prank on everybody else and do like a Powerpuff Girls thing. So he told me to read this like Powerpuff Girls comic from the 90s. I'm like, okay, fuck it, whatever. And then it turned out he pulled a joke on me, and he was not, I'm just like, I was so pissed off. Like that, yeah. It was a whole thing. But go ahead.
We've had some interesting ones. Do you remember? I think this is like pandemic times or something. Do you remember we watched and like live commented the Sony presentation, like Sony's like here are our upcoming trailers.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people came into the chat who thought we were like really hardcore Sony fans, and they were like really like they were calling us Sony ponies. I think they were calling us.
No, I do remember that. Like, it was like that was weird, because also I think that for some of those must have been bots, because I don't know. Like, that was one of our best videos, because it got like 30 people coming in there being like, "You guys fucking suck. Sony's a piece of shit." Like, just like giving us crap for talking about Sony. Period. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna keep on talking about it because it's video games. We got nothing else to do. But but then I think literally like the next day it showed we had like 700 views, and then like a day later it went down to like 300 for some reason. I think a lot of those must have been like bot views or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a weird day, and I don't think we've ever had a day or an episode quite like that. What was you just made a face? Is that for this comment?
Yeah. It's a UK question for Harry. I've been wondering for a long time if there's any mental association connected to wearing Gola sneakers. I had to Google them because I was like, I don't think so. But maybe there is, but just not in the crowds that I go around in.
I've never heard of Gola sneakers, so.
I mean, I went out with some people that I didn't know so well yesterday, and some of them were kind of sneakerheads. So it turns out some people really do care about their trainers. But I'm not bothered. I don't know anything about it.
that's the thing here too. People really love their like. There's an entire like conventions you can go to just for like designer shoes or like special Nikes or like shit like that. And I'm like, I don't care, dude. Shoes are shoes. I don't.
Yeah, so possibly, but I was never part of that crowd, so never really knew. I went to school in Doc Martens, you know. Like I just had shoes.
You might want to keep that to yourself these days.
Oh.
Just yeah, no. Well, in America, that's the wrong thing. Oh yeah, well, I'm stomped around in Doc Martens. I'm like,
Okay.
That's what at least that's what Americans associate those with.
I just like having decent boots.
Fair enough. So all right, so we've talked about kind of what our favorite, and I'm sure more stuff will come up of like reminded of like what things with the podcast. But what is your worst part? Like, what do you think are worst besides the Justice League? What do you think are worst thing we've ever done on the podcast? Was it the thing that annoyed you the most?
Oh, Chris. Do you remember Chris?
Chris. Oh my god, I do remember Chris. He would like, okay. Was it because he would always like set up like, Chris, what do you think about this? All right, guys, I just have to say it was pretty good. And that's it. Like he would just wind up as if he was gonna have like this whole fucking thing and then just not say anything.
Kind of, yeah. I you know, like I don't wish the boy ill or anything like that, but I don't know. I think Chris was on a different wavelength to me. And I didn't quite get where he was coming from. He would often tell us things that he'd done because he was really young. I think Chris was because he was like a friend of Seb's.
He was like 17, 18 years old. He was pretty young. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember him telling us that he handed in a paper at school, like for an exam or something, and he'd just written Epstein didn't kill himself on it. Like, and I was like, "What are you doing, Chris? Who are you? Why are you here? What's going on?"
I don't know. I think that's just part of our audience. We kind of attract some, like, not to say our audience is weird, but we do attract a certain type of person. That's what I'll say. Like, it takes a certain kind of person to tune into the likes of us every week, just bullshitting about, you know. And the wide cast of characters that we've had, because we've had Marshall on here, we've had Peaky, you know, Sebastian, Chris, we've had various people hang out with us, and then also just people from other channels like Shanti, Salacious Rum.
Oh yeah, that's been a great part of this is meeting a lot of other people. So yeah, there were some other guys who were just sort of interesting and strange, but most of the people that we've met. Cracking people. It's been really nice to have met them. You know, I'm glad that we met Shanti, glad that we met Salacious Rum, that got to hang out with that sort of crowd for a little while. I even turned up on one of those Lego streams once. I bought the smallest Lego I could so I could turn up on the stream.
Hell yeah. And so yeah, it's been kind of cool to like collaborate and meet these. And again, we keep on going back to the pandemic, but like especially during the pandemic, it was kind of cool to like make those connections and meet other people and hang out. And yeah, like I've had a lot of fun doing this, and it's been a hell of an experience. And now at this point, it's gotten me into going to like Comic Cons constantly. I'm going to the one in 2 weeks here in Albuquerque.
Oh, nice!
Like, yeah, I'm gonna get more footage of it. I'm gonna get more. So be on the lookout in about 2-3 weeks for another comic cosplay video with probably a couple of titty girls.
Oh, hey, TJ Templar's in the chat. Hello, sir. How are you?
It has been a minute, TJ. What's up? I've been seeing you like comment on a couple of videos, like a couple of the audiobooks, but I haven't seen you in the chats recently. It's good to have you back. You had a guy with Black Series Star Wars figures behind. I mean, yeah, we've had a lot of people with toys and figures and stuff behind them.
It could have been anyone.
You know how little that narrows it down. Like shit, I have Black Series behind me. Anyway, usually the episodes that are thrown together at the last minute end up being the most heartwarming. Oh, are you talking about like these episodes, like the shooting the shits, or what do you mean by the episodes that are thrown together? Let's see. It has my friends moved to Georgia. They moved to Georgia and life's been wild. Well, I can imagine. That's like prime like zombie territory and also Southern racist. Because Walking Dead, you know, that it takes place in Georgia, at least for the first part. Oh, the coloring book episode. Okay, that's what he's talking. So yeah, like when I was in Florida, and like I'm like, oh shit, guys, I forgot to tell you, I'm not gonna be here for the pub, and you just set up a coloring book. Yeah, that I actually checked that stream out. That's a chill, cool stream.
Yeah, I forgot I did that. Yeah, huh? No, I did wonder about doing some more of those. Maybe I can pick them back up at some point.
Yeah, man. If you just want to like have a day where you just kind of chill and welcome to coloring book ASMR.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, we got Aaron. Okay, so here's one thing I want to talk about is how cool. And we want to talk about really cool fans, Aaron, because I have through the course of this podcast and through the course of this channel, I went to Chicago last year in 2024, and I met Aaron at Chicago Fan Expo, and yeah, that was cool. We did. All right. So for you guys who watch the game streams, we drank water. We drank lots of water, so much so that our eyes were all orange or all red from all the water drinking. But we had a lot of fun. We were hanging out, and we hung out for a good couple of hours, like at the convention. It was cool talking with him. Like, I'd like to do more of that with like other people. Like, I'd like to move or go across the country and like, I've been to Florida, Nashville, fucking what's it called? I just said Chicago. I've been to multiple states now, and I'm like, I would love to start meeting more fans in like other places.
Oh, sounds awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, it was a great time. It was a load of fun. But so I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like what was like something that was bad from the podcast that I didn't like. But besides the obvious, anyone who knows our history will know one that I'm thinking of immediately. But I don't want to bring down the stream by talking shit about the previous host.
I don't know if this is talking shit about the previous host, but I remember I think you hated the quiz questions we used to do.
Oh, they were so stupid. I'm saying it's because they sometimes they were cool. Like we could have some like if you were gonna make your own not Disney, if your own Nintendo movie, what would it be? And like we could like, oh, I want Star Fox, I want Metroid or whatever, and it's because we were talking about the Mario movie that day, or like at that point the announced Mario movie. It wasn't even a thing at that point. It was just a rumor. But so I was down for some of those, but some of them were just flat out stupid. And like also the Fulcrum fights. Can we just talk about how bad those were?
I think part of the problem with the Fulcrum fights was those were something that had no prep but kind of needed some preparation, because I get asked things that I just didn't know anything about, and I was like, I have no idea. I don't know what this is, and like I know some Star Wars stuff, but my knowledge is not as deep as a lot of other people's is. So if we're gonna start getting into like what's your favorite episode of the Clone Wars, or pick a character like from the Clone Wars and make something out of that, I was like, I don't know. Captain, is there I think there's a Captain Rex. I think like is that a guy?
See, I've thought about doing those myself, like just kind of like sitting down and recording like the top 10 clones, like hey, or putting out a poll or something, making a video out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the top 10 clones as voted by the Fulcrum Knights or some. But I'm like, also that seems kind of gimmicky. Like I often and also I'm like, if you want like lore videos, there's literally already like 3 or 4 other channels that do it and have been doing it for years already. So I'm like, it's kind of hard to break into that. I think the audiobooks are probably a good place to go, and then also our the audio comics, like the last Ronin ones kick ass. So I'm like, I think we found a pretty good balance with that. Like it's just we're really inconsistent about uploading.
Unfortunately, yes.
That just happens, but. Again, that's what happens when you get older, and unfortunately for us, this is more of like a part-time job / hobby. Like it's like a side gig. It's not really a full-time like thing because it's just not as profitable yet.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have the chance that perhaps some other channels can do, where you can spend a lot of your time working on it.
Oh, dude, if we ever got to like 100,000, 200,000 subscribers and shit like that, and actually got the kind of views that those kind of channels get. It's like my boss would see 2 middle fingers and a cloud of dust. That's what they would see. Anyway, the books and the comics are amazing. Well, I appreciate that, TJ.
Thank you, man.
Also, the fucking cosplay videos. I don't just do that for myself, I mean, kind of do that for myself, but it's also partially for y'all. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know what else we want to talk about, Harrison. I don't know. We don't necessarily need to talk about like reminisce on the channel. We could also just shoot the shit in general. Like, what do you think? I don't know. Go ahead. Say something. Talk. Talk, British man. Talk.
Yeah. So, what have I been doing? And you were talking about playing Breath of the Wild, which I think is super cool. I know, like, that's so late now that an entire new generation of that console has come out. But I think Breath of the Wild is an awesome game, and I'm very happy for you getting to experience that the first time. Something that we didn't talk about off air is my favorite thing about that was maybe this is the wrong description, but the slightly sort of Dark Souls element of it. I used to love going after enemies that I probably shouldn't fight right now and seeing if I could get around them. So there are a lot of times where I'd find a giant Aurochs or Hinox or whatever it is and take it on. And those, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like lion centaur guys. The furry centaurs.
The furry centaur. Okay. I think I did that same thing. I've been playing. I got to. I found a boss fight on accident. I was running up one of the snowy ass mountains, like the big like crazy mountain with just full of Lizofos and like the I think it's like the ice choo-choos or whatever the hell they're called. But so I'm just running up this mountain doing this, like just fighting my way through it, powering through, and I get to the very top and there's a fucking like dragon just like with a bunch of like weird purple stuff, like growing crap on it. I'm assuming this is like some major boss fight that I'm supposed to like come to later on, but I'm like, oh, holy crap, I should not be here. I'm just gonna yeet myself off this mountain later. Oh, a Manticore. The Manticore. So we got Hans in here, who is also, he's been on the podcast a couple of times. He's jumped in when I put our the link, which also I wanted to say this is in the chat if you guys want to, if anyone wants to try to jump in and say hi to us. But yeah, Hans is a wild dude. Let me see. Oh, here's a question. Has any commenter hurt your feelings? Harrison, has any commenter hurt your feelings?
I don't know. Not so much here on the podcast. Like, I think like commenters have annoyed me a bit. Like, and there've been times where I think the only time I got like real pissed off, I was more mad at myself for not doing anything about it. But the guy who we have a little thing about, we've got a little video about him that we don't like, JV, was so shitty to someone else in the chat. They just left and like said, "I'm leaving," and I was real mad about that. And I was like, I wish I'd sort of seen that and done something about it sooner.
Yeah, no, when I saw that, I'm like, I didn't want to like derail the podcast in the middle of it and be like, dude, what the fuck? But yeah, it was like, bro, seriously, what the fuck? Like, you're fighting with one of our audience while we're supposed to be sitting here talking and doing it. Like, would you mind? Yeah,
and it was some childish bullshit. It was just like calling someone like a shill and being offensive because they liked something, and it was stupid.
Yeah, and they didn't even weren't even insulted. They were just like, I don't really think that's true. I thought it was pretty good, and that's all they said. He's just like, well, you're a fucking shill. You're part of the problem. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's probably been. Or there you go. That's been the worst part of the podcast was that asshole, and how he spoke with such authority. It's like, oh yeah, you guys should try doing this, this, and this. I'm like, dude, fuck off. It's like we're doing just fine with the way we're doing things. Like, fuck off, bro. Oh yeah, no, that was. I wouldn't say as far as like commenters that I don't think anyone's hurt my feelings, but they have annoyed me is that when people are like, would you stop stop or pausing in the middle of each chapter and talking about it? I'm so sick and tired of hearing or like, what the fuck is up with that Palpatine thing in the beginning of the book? It's like when you do the, have you ever heard the tragedy? Like, that thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
I don't know if I have it anymore, but I took a screenshot of that guy. And I can't necessarily say on the stream the things he said, but someone got so mad about that, and it was kind of a really funny comment that I hung on to it. Like, I deleted it, but I kept a record of it for myself. And this guy who was so incensed that I didn't carry on talking like Palpatine for the entire rest of the book. I thought it was really funny. And Andrew said, I believe I heard a "screw you, man" in the discussion for Red Harvest. You're probably right. I can't remember what that was about.
He's just like, fuck you then. It's like, oh, this comment is shitty. Well, screw you too.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what that was, but yeah. No, I've definitely been annoyed by people. I'm just like, God damn it, guys. I'm making a thing that's free on YouTube. Shut up.
Straight up. And I think one thing that also gets kind of old, and this is not to rag on the audience or anything, but just one thing that gets kind of old is when people are constantly, when's the next part? When is the next part of the audiobook? I'm like, when it comes out. It's like, don't make me turn this car around, children. I swear to God, we will go right back home and we won't even go to Disneyland today. Yeah, but TJ, thank you. He says he appreciates all the time we put into him. Well, we appreciate you guys for all the time you put into. How many hours a week have you put in coming back to watch our stuff? You know, like it feels good. It feels very good to have you guys here and like commenting and actually coming back and letting us know that you're here.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Those things are what set Harry's readings apart from other audiobooks on YouTube. I think they elevate the mood. Agreed. They add a bit of comedy and a bit of levity to it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I just sort of wanted to do something else.
Which YouTuber have you personally viewed that you can't stand anymore? Star Wars Theory. Definitely Star Wars. I used to be on that dude's side like crazy because I used to like his lore videos, and I was kind of on board with him being a prequel defender. But then he started openly talking, being like that, doing the shill talk and being like, "Oh, Disney's paying people to go fucking shill their shit, and they're not paying me, even though I'm the best Star Wars YouTuber." I'm like, dude, fuck off.
I don't know. There are a few. I think like sometimes there are people, but they're weird ones. I don't know if you'll know who they are. I can't even remember what they are. There's one that's like, I think her name was Graveyard Girl on YouTube. She was a weird creator who like used to buy like as seen on TV things, and I liked a few of the videos, and then they've just never been fun ever since. And every now and then I try back in, but I'm like, oh no.
Interesting. She's kind of hot if this is the correct person, but I don't know. It might not be.
I don't know. Like,
is it Graveyard with an E with a 3 instead of an E?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see why you've said that. Maybe see other pictures of her.
Okay, never mind. I see that. Yeah, currently meh. But yeah, anywho, let's move on. So yeah, Graveyard Girl. I don't know. I would say Game Grumps maybe. I used to be really into the Game Grumps, and I'm like what's his name? Shit, it's Danny Danny Sexbang is his stage name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I used to be really into him, or into their stuff, but I'm not as much anymore. I don't really know if I don't think about. There's not a whole lot of YouTubers that I watch on a regular basis, like on a religious basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I've got a few. I do watch a lot of YouTube. But yeah, weirdly, a lot of the ones that I don't watch anymore, I've forgotten about, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, part of the issue is that a huge amount of them are just like people who don't make stuff anymore because they got caught doing crimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dude, okay, so, I mean, I think the biggest letdown as far as, like, YouTube or just content creators in general was Rooster Teeth. Like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys have seen me. I've been wearing a red versus blue hat this whole fucking, like, on and off this whole stream. And, yeah, that was probably the biggest bummer for me doing this, is that I used to watch, like, Red versus Blue and Camp, and, like, all the RT shorts and all that, and their podcast, which is where I got a lot of, like inspiration for what to do on our podcast. And so, yeah, like, I used to love Rooster Teeth, and then I found out, like, apparently a lot of their people were really, like, super homophobic and kind of racist. I mean, it's Texas, so what are you going to do? Then they also have the fact that it's like, I guess a couple of their dudes, like, well, one of their dudes was like a groomer. I guess he got caught like fucking around with underage fans at conventions and stuff. And it's like, bro, what the fuck?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, it's messed up. And then to say nothing of the fact, they got bought by Warner Brothers and then just kind of got split up and like doled out to various different companies. Like, and now Rooster Teeth is kind of like, I don't think Rooster Teeth it exists anymore, which is too bad. Oh, what's up, Mr. Action? How's it going, buddy? Speak of the devil, like 20 minutes late.
The OG, Mr. Action, is in the house.
I think at this point, Mr. Action is probably one of our oldest viewers. Like, he's probably been here probably the longest of all the people who've been commenting today.
Oh yeah. No, it's good to see you, Mr. Action. And Mrs. Drama has left the apartment, as you once said.
Although I do want to point this out, we also have a little notification that T has been a member with us for 17 months. So
thank you so much.
Thank you very much for T. You know what? Just for you, I'm going to do something a little special from our good buddy Harrison.
Hey, yo, Uncle.
Yes, nephew.
Uncle, there's this weird fucking chick.
Oh?
Don't fucking look, dude. Don't fucking look.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Uncle, she's been looking at me and making my dick feel weird, man.
Oh, Prince Zuko. It is time I teach you the ancient wisdoms of pussy.
That is one of my favorite things that you have ever done that I found. I'm just like, oh, I'm keeping that.
That's a pandemic thing. That was like I have got nothing to do. It's 2020 and I'm watching Avatar. Fuck it. I'm going to go make this.
That was special. Mr. Action doesn't know what to say. That was great. Anyone who was just praising Harrison's voice acting in the audiobooks needs to understand how awesome that just was. Oh my god, that was fun. And again, like I think the podcast has given us. I should go back on like the older episodes that we still have on there and look and like see like try to find all like the gems that were in there, because there were a lot of gems that we like. There's one it was more recent when we were talking about Agatha all along that you're like, oh well, actually, guys, about witchcraft, the runes are actually this, that, and the other, and also you wank on them or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's how it works.
You know, I think it might still be one of our shorts. Like it might exist somewhere on the channel. Like, but yeah, I've had such fun. Also with StreamYard, it's been fun kind of doing that because it gives us like AI clips. So some of like the funniest things that we've said end up in like a short that I put on a highlight in the highlight reel.
There are probably some things there were definitely some things I don't necessarily want dredged up because I'm kind of like, usually at the moment I realize, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I should have did that.
I mean, yeah. So, note. So I did tell everyone at the beginning of this podcast, if you want to go listen to our old stuff, go on to Spotify and Apple. Understand that. All right, I'm 31 now. I was 7 years ago. I was 24. I was 24 years old. So, god damn it, guys, you gotta cut me some slack. I was a dumb 20-year-old, and like we were all dumb 20-somethings at one point. Some of us are yet to be that, Mr. Action. But yes, I'm just like, I only remember two funny. Oh well, share them, Mr. Action. Tell us what your funniest. And you know what? In the comments, like share if you guys remember what are the like the funniest moments you can remember from this podcast. What are your favorite ones? T still is a dumb 20-something. I say nothing. Can you get a quat of quat? What the fuck?
A Kuat of Kuat, who runs the Kuat shipyards, owned by the one and only Kuat of Kuat, or Kuat Drive Yards, I think correctly that's what that is. It's in one of those books. It's in Slave Ship. There are chapters where you go see Kuat of Kuat, and he always calls him his full name, and it's the worst thing. Kuat of Kuat stood looking out the window over the Kuat Drive Yards, the pride and joy of Kuat of the Kuat's entire career.
Oh god, that sounds tedious to have to read that multiple times. So dubbing out, I'm curious. He says, is there any chance you guys will cover any 40K content when Amazon's 40K show comes out? I'm down. Honestly, I'm down to cover the 40K show. I don't think we covered the Fallout show, which is I think it's sad, but Fallout Season 2 got announced, so we should definitely cover that when it like we should do a whole thing.
I would love to check out the 40K show because I'm looking forward to that. I love my man Henry Cavill. Like after watching The Witcher, like I wasn't too sure about Henry Cavill because I don't care about Superman. But then I went and watched The Witcher and I was like, damn, I like this. I want to see him being a space marine.
So yeah, I mean, with that, I guess I should ask, because you guys, like, we don't, obviously with Fulcrum Entertainment, we're still very much based in Star Wars, and anything at time a Star Wars thing comes out, that's going to take precedent. However, it seems like, obviously we're going to have, like, there's times like with the Andor or with like Skeleton Crew where it's like there's like a year or like even like months to a year in between them. So it's like, what other stuff would you like us to do? Because again, we've missed out on Last of Us, Fallout, like the Predator stuff, like all the Alien stuff. Like there's a lot of things that we've missed out on that we could just talk about, that if you guys want us to. I mean, I don't know, man. Just let us know what you want, because if it's any like Predator, Alien, or Resident Evil stuff, we could also get Dead Guy on here because he's a fucking expert on that stuff.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I just I saw what Mr. Action said with one of his funniest moments was when he made a comment about Wasp getting her ass eaten, which I think was when we were covering the Marvel What If in the Marvel Zombies episode. I remember that.
And then you just gave him like a dead fucking stare. Oh God. All right, so you guys have said some wild shit on this podcast. We've said some wild shit on this podcast, but you guys have said some wild stuff that you try to get us to repeat. Just love hanging out. I don't know what it is. I'll learn. All right, so I don't know what you don't know what is. As in
like maybe if he doesn't know like 40K or Fallout or something that we're covering. TJ just likes hanging out. I appreciate that, TJ.
I mean, you know what? So here's one thing I wanted to talk about, and if we'd have to get more people and who consistently could come out every couple of weeks or every like month at least do once a month. Would you ever be down to do like D&D? Because me and my friends have recently got into playing D&D. Like one of my friends is being the DM, and I've gotten a taste for it.
Ha 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 ha! You fucker! You've been having a go at me for D&D for years.
I have told you you're a nerd for it, and it's so much fun. Playing a chaotic evil character is so great.
What are you playing? What are you?
I'm a half dragon paragon. Like we're playing 3.5 version.
Oh, okay.
So my friends are like purists, I guess. They don't want to go 5e. So we're doing 3.5, and I'm a dragon. I'm a half dragon paragon who is like a paladin of slaughter. So I'm an evil paladin. Yeah. So I'm like, and all my friends are like chaotic neutral to lawful good, and I'm like I'm the evil guy in the oh, it's so much fun. I call myself I'm Shenron the Destroyer. And then actually, fun fact, I showed these in the stream, but these are the dice. This is the dice I use.
I did notice you've posted some dice that you've got now. Yeah.
Nice,
very nice.
So, I mean, if it'll show you, but like this is what they look like. They're there we go.
If you really want to play, you need more dice. Okay.
Oh no, son.
Good.
I got a whole thing of acrylic dice, and then from the same company that holy shit, Harrison's putting me to shit. But then from also the whole thing, I got the company I got the green and yellow dice from. I also got these. They're like a grab bag of various metal dice. If it'll show it. But yeah, Misty Mountain Gaming. They don't pay me to say it. It's just good. They're just good dice. But yeah, guys. So I mean, at some point, they also have Star Wars D&D that I found. So if we ever want to try that out, that'd be fun.
Ooh.
That could be if I could scare up a DM, because I would want to play rather than be the DM myself. But if I could get a DM and a couple other players, I think it'd be kind of crazy to play some D&D like once a month and do like the monthly Fulcrum like D&D stream.
I also have as part of my D&D thing. This is something my brother made for me.
Ooh, that's cool.
Box
with a dice box,
yeah. It's sort of, I use it as a rolling tray, and I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but he's burnt into it like where I can write my stats.
Oh, that's cool.
So I write down all my modifiers on there, so that I know when I roll, like, okay, if it's a save, I add +3 to a strength save and stuff like that. It's cool. It's got magnets in it. It's a real nice little box.
Oh, Dead Guy's apparently a DM veteran.
Oh.
We could get Dead Guy to be the DM, have T in here, get Peaky, you, me, have our own have a party of 4 people, like again once a month, and just get together and play D&D live on the stream, like 1 hour and a half a week, or an hour and a half to like 2 hours a month. Like, I think we could do that. I think we could make it work, or even if we have to do it early enough, we could make it like 3 hours, so you guys aren't up super like crazy late.
Yeah, getting dangerously close to being a real thing. Yeah, we could do that. I'm playing D&D tomorrow as well.
Yeah, no, I have a session on the 27th. Like me and my friends are doing it now, like every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, it's a load of fun. I've been enjoying it. I think we could actually have, like, if people enjoyed the Choose Your Own Adventures, I can only imagine how crazy it would get in the chat with doing D&D like this.
Oh yeah.
Grown ass men, by the way. Hey, you know what? Fuck you, Mr. Action. You don't understand the fun of it yet because you're just a child. You're a baby. You're like 18, 19 years old. You don't understand.
But maturing is understanding how good D&D is. Like the only thing I don't like in D&D, and I've said it I hate shopping sessions. They happen in a lot of campaigns of just like, now we're just in the city and go buy things you need, and I can't stand them.
Oh yeah, no. After our first like major battle, like I thought the next hour of our campaign, was us like having to go sell all of the gear we got, and then just outfit ourselves for the next part of our journey. I'm like, oh my god, this is like, can we just get over this part?
And it's like trying to split the bill after you've been out to eat with people. You start going like, right, okay, well, like your share of the gold is like 500 gold pieces, but if we all spend 200 gold pieces to get this, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, see, I'm like that gets old and it gets boring. But when you actually have a good DM that can just kind of streamline a lot of the stuff, it's fun. Eldritch Blast. Oh, anyone who enjoyed fucking Baldur's Gate, which I think that's what started it, is I'm like, I played Baldur's Gate and I'm like, okay, fuck, this is actually kind of fun. Like, also, I mean, I think it was the seed was planted years ago because I also played KOTOR and Dragon Age and various other D&D basically games.
Yeah. The Eldritch Blast. I like warlocks like as an idea. Like, I love the idea of like my character having like, a demon or a HP Lovecraft style, ancient entity giving them their powers. But I will admit, sometimes when you're a warlock, you get real sick and tired of saying Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. See, so far I think I'm just bad at it because my DM, like, I can see they get like visibly frustrated when they're like, okay, so you like this person walks in the room and so what do you do? And I don't use like the sneak ability that I have, or I don't use like the not like when I'm doing a dialogue with like an NPC, I don't use like my knowledge of religion or my knowledge of nobility to like, oh, I know that. Here, let me tell the party that. So we just completely miss like entire parts of this campaign because we're just too stupid to figure it out. Also, the DM has been trying really, really hard to get us to go.
Am I still on the stream? Have I lost Gilbert? Oh no.
Yeah, no. All right, my internet crapped out on me for a second. Here, let me close out some of my tabs and stuff. So hopefully that helps.
Hey, dubbing it out.
Yeah.
Take care. Thanks very much for joining us while you did. I appreciate it.
Oh, are they? Okay, yeah. Take it easy, dubbing out. Dubbing out is dipping out. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what else. Other stuff? Because yeah, that's been my evolution over the last 7 years. I took up D&D and I've enjoyed it. How have you changed, Harrison? How has this podcast changed you?
I had to learn a lot more about Star Wars than I did when I started. Because I think I came into this and I knew the original trilogy really well because I loved it so much as a kid. And then I turned up and all you whippersnappers kept talking about this prequel stuff and all these cartoons you'd watched. I was like, what is this?
Dude, you're like 3 years older than me. What are you talking about? When you were in high school, I was in high school. Well, yeah, you would have been a senior when I was just now coming and being a freshman. You would have been fine. We would have been calling me a whippersnapper.
No, yeah, I just completely disengaged from Star Wars, like through all the prequel and Clone Wars stuff. So I was like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. Lando, just naming characters I can remember. Like,
it's like Lobot. Is that correct? Yeah, buddy, Lobot.
I would be a stormtrooper, sir. Yes. So yeah, I've since had to go and like try and learn a few things.
Do you regret that education?
The community's been very good. The community's been great, and like especially like with the audiobooks, I've asked questions and then get lengthy answers in the comments, and I've always appreciated that.
I mean, that's one thing that you can always find with Star Wars fans is that, or with fandom of any sort, is if you ask questions like that, like you're into it, and you ask like, well, what's this? What's that? What's the significance of that? You're gonna find someone who's gonna write you a book. And there are plenty of people who are in the comments who are writing us essays, letting us know about Star Wars lore. And I'm like, I love you guys, but holy hell. I asked if you can't bring yourself to use stickers that you own. I can use them.
He's
to
asking
make
T about that because I think T said that she hoards everything and she doesn't sell anything, and it was like, but I know that I am personally like that. I have a bunch of stickers that like I go like, oh, this sticker's cool. I like this artist. I'll get their stuff, and I never know what to put it on. But they just hang around.
I got like a million of those. They're mostly like half naked fucking.
These are the spoils of all your cons, aren't they? Frozen Gilbert, frozen with the anime babe stickers. I see.
Goddamn. Fuck this computer. Not you, Harrison, but fuck this computer. But yeah, so at any rate, that is exactly where those come from, is the anime or like the anime and Comic Cons, where it's like local artists Gooner stickers. That's basically what they are. But hey, you know what? I like stickers, and you know what? I like anime girls, and you all do too. So don't lie. The most recent video I had that I made was in Florida. Had like 15 to 30, like had like 30 different fucking girls in like very skimpy forms of dress, and that is one of the most watched videos we've done so far of that type. So don't give me this bullshit like you don't like those videos. I can see it in the numbers. Like I know my audience. I know they're a bunch of perverts and a bunch of fucking nerds. Damn, y'all old men know what gooners are. Damn right, I do.
We exist on the internet, Mr. Action. We know.
Motherfucker, I was on the internet before you were born.
There are some things that confuse me. I didn't know what a glizzy was for a very long time.
Do you know what AOL is, Mr. Action? Because I was on that shit before you were even an itch in your daddy's pants.
I was friends with Tom on MySpace.
When your dad was gooning you into a goddamn into your mom. I was watching fucking videos on the what was the beginnings of YouTube. Anyway, anime equals bouncy. Anime equals fan service. That's what that means. So, wait, Tom was my best friend. Dude, oh my god, we're so fucking old, dude. MySpace, you know what? Fuck it. Welcome to the last 30 minutes of the podcast where we're at the old man part of the podcast. Because, dude, yeah, we started this podcast seven years ago, and it feels like 1,000 years ago being 23 or 24 years old.
Yeah, sorry. This old man forgot to plug his laptop in, and it's about to die, and I'm trying to find the cable.
Oh, do your thing. But yeah, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like dial-up, floppy disks, which were anything but floppy. Fucking, let me see. CDs. Most people don't know what the fuck CDs are these days. Or most kids.
Oh, man. Floppy disks. Right, hang on. This is one of my oldest old man takes. I got it from my brother, who's an older man than me. But it's a thing of like, it blows my mind that there are kids in the world using computers now who know what the save icon is, but they don't know what the save icon is. They know they press it to save a document, but they don't know it's a picture of a floppy disk.
Yeah, like that's a good point, because I don't think they've ever changed that. Like to this day, yeah, like saving something is still like the save icon is still a floppy disk, Or I mean, yeah, no. Let me see here. I want to save a thing. Yeah, I think it might still be it's kind of hard to tell on this what it is, what the icon is supposed to be on my Windows, but still though, like you're right, it's a bizarre thing to have to explain to kids, especially if like on like older computers. Let me see, what other shit do we AOL, Netscape, fucking Aaron used Netscape or NetSend.
Oh yeah, no, I remember MSN was the big thing, like when I was sort of online with people.
There was a triangle floppy disk. I didn't even know there was a. Oh, holy shit, dude! We're sitting here fucking talking about that. He's just like, nah, dude, buckle up, hold my beer. In my day, but yeah, the old internet days of uncensored websites and videos no one should have seen. Well, I mean, nowadays, if you want to watch that, that's the dark web. Like you can go on an onion router and go find that shit on like. Iranian fucking YouTube. You can find a video of a dude getting his head cut off. But yeah, like
it used to be that thing of like it used to be these weird like people just sharing URLs and like telling you stuff like go Google Lemon Party or the Blue Waffle or
and people filming your reaction to that.
Yeah, man. This is the old days.
I did that to my little brother. I made him watch the Lemon Party. Well, not video, obviously, the Lemon Party picture. I made him look at the Lemon Party picture, and we filmed it without his knowledge. And he was so pissed. God, the internet used to be fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Let's see. What other old man things can we talk? Harrison, what old man shit have you got? You're 3 years older than me.
I don't know. VHS, everything being on VHS back in the day. Although to be fair, like DVDs are like old man stuff now as well. So I don't know. DVDs used to be incredible. This is my old man take. In the mid 2000s, DVDs were amazing. Like movies that weren't even that big would have like DVDs with like hours of bonus content on. Like DVDs. I remember the Shaun of the Dead DVD was one of my favorite things ever. It had like 4 commentary tracks on it with like there was one commentary track that was like just Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright just talking about writing the movie. Then they had one that was all about like the lead actors doing it. Then there was one with the older actors like Bill Nye and the woman who plays Simon Pegg's mum. And then there was a zombie commentary track on it. It was just extras who played zombies. Amazing stuff. There was like hour-long documentaries on it. Brilliant. And DVDs suck now, and I'm really mad.
God. See, I would imagine. I can't imagine trying to explain to my niece or nephew watching a movie, but watching it with the commentary, like watching it with like the director and like main actor. It's like because you can watch. Apparently, you can watch. Like I used to have like the full box set of like Full Metal Alchemist, and yeah, like for like each of the episode, like every other episode, they have like a special thing where you could watch the full 30-minute thing with the director and the actor and then like the writer of the fucking or some shit. Like it's like holy crap, man! Like I the idea of explaining that to someone, which I mean, I guess that's what we do when we did like the watch parties, but it's still.
I think that's it. It was podcasts before podcasts. That was one of the things I loved like commentaries. Because I really like hearing people talk and like giving extra info. So there were some commentaries that I watched more than the movie, like because I just thought the commentary was really funny and I really liked just hearing these people talk. And then like podcasting became more accessible because you didn't need to have an iPod and now like I can stream a podcast wherever I am rather than like back in the day where I had to download it. And then
so this is gonna be nerdy, but you guys remember when? So DVDs, I'm going to use my X-Men 2 DVD for this. You guys remember when DVDs came with 2 fucking discs, 2 discs, and then also a little fucking like booklet that told you like what was on the discs?
Oh, like, man. That's getting me into video game manuals.
Video game manual. Oh, dude.
Man, the days of video game manuals. I remember being a kid. We'd go out to town, and like while my mum was doing other shopping stuff, like the stuff that she cared about or having to get food stuff or whatever, and I would sit and I would read the manual of the video game that I just bought because I couldn't play it yet. and I was just looking through and seeing pictures of the game and getting backstory and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It gave you like a rundown of the basic story. It gave you like a rundown of who your character was and like maybe the controls or something like that. I mean, but yeah, like I remember Halo 2 had that. I remember like every video game up until like 2010, 2011, like around the time of the Xbox One. That's when it started, and like in the PlayStation 4, that's when shit started going downhill, and they stopped doing that.
Now, some of them used to come with cool stuff. Some of them used to have posters. Some of them had maps, like in-game maps. You get like a paper version of it, like you know. And if you go way further back, like even before my time, but like some of those, there were games like PC games that came with like stuff that you had to have the manual for to do it in the game because you'd have to like reference the manual for stuff in the game. It was incredible stuff.
Oh, game strategy guy! Like, did you ever get one of those books that was like it was like the 100 pages of like, well, here's like the secrets of where all the weapons are, and here's the best fucking strategies for how to beat these enemies. Did you ever get those?
I didn't have many, but I had one. It's weird. I found a copy of Monkey Island 3, The Curse of Monkey Island, and then like a couple of weeks later, in like a secondhand store, I found a game guide to it, which I needed because I was a child and I didn't know how to solve the puzzles of that game, and so I just got this guide that told me everything, and it was amazing. And also, again, came with loads of just extra content and jokes and other stuff to know about it. Brilliant.
Man, I wish I kept. Tasha says that she kept all of her books, like all of her old like game guides and all those books. I'm like, you're probably sitting on a few $100 with like, or maybe even thousands, depending on how good, on what good quality they're in. And then also, like, I mean, taking those to a Comic-Con, try to sell them to a collector.
Did you guys have this thing? There was a weird phenomenon that I remember happened at least here in the UK, and probably the same in the States. You know, I think you still can maybe sometimes, but you used to be able to get like magazines for a console. So there was like the official PlayStation magazine, but there'd also be like unofficial ones. And I remember I used to buy a Game Boy Color magazine, and they would just be like, here's all the things that are coming out on the Game Boy Color. And they'd have reviews of it and ads. And then sometimes they would come with stuff, like they'd come with demo discs. Like, you get those. Like, there were some legendary PlayStation ones, and you also used to get books of cheat codes. There were just all of the whole stuff. And Mr. Action, I owned a lot of video game magazines, but looking at past magazines from Nintendo Power, I feel jealous of them because of how fun they are. Did you guys also have the thing that those video game magazines were full of really inappropriate stuff? For like
guaranteed. See, I had it because of as a child, as a teenager, I was frequenting GameStop. Like my family had an Xbox, and when I started getting a job as a teenager, I bought myself an Xbox 360 and an Xbox One and all that. So I was constantly frequenting GameStop, and as long as Game Informer existed, oh dude, I had like a stack of Game Informers, like literally like that fucking big. And it was just like every month, because whenever you had like the GameStop Gold or the GameStop like whatever, like the premium membership or whatever, they would subscribe you to that magazine and you'd get it every month. And yeah, dude, they had some like really like racy stuff on there. Sometimes I'm like, dude, a teenager should not be fucking reading this.
I remember, I think early 2000s, I think it was in the Game Boy Color magazine. They would have loads of ads, they'd sold ad space. And one of the things they would always have ads for was, this is back in like the old Nokia days of like kind of screensavers for your like old phone, like just regular touchtone like cell phones, but like there'd be screensavers of boobs, like just pixel drawings of boobs and things. And I remember just being like a kid being like, what? Like going through the back of this magazine.
So I'm not one of the ones who's like, I'm a guy who looks back on the past and is like, that's the time it was. Like, let's all understand that was how it was, and we all understand it's not that way anymore. But I do remember reading a Game Informer magazine that talked about like the new Tomb Raider thing. And so it's so we're going to talk about the new 2015, like the new revamp of Lara Croft. And then they did like a retrospective, like on the old Lara Croft. And they're like, do you think will the new game have a naked sheet? Probably not, but maybe one day. Like they started joking about like how they wanted to see a skimpier like Lara Croft, and that's like, oh well, it's that's how it is. And I'm like, dude, maybe gamers are just a bunch of gooners,
For some reason, it was really allowed in like game journalism back in the day.
Yeah, to speak kind of like just casually like sexist, I guess, or like I don't want to say misogynistic, but yeah, just kind of being like, oh yeah, no, they're hot. I mean, I remember living in the days of G4 when like when like the fucking Playboy model Sarah Underwood was like their game correspondent, and they had like Olivia Moon and like various other like booth babes at that. Like I think they were the ones who started that whole thing, that whole idea of booth babes.
Yeah, and crazy times.
I grew up on Game Informer, so that's why I don't get those kind of magazines. Yeah, nah. Oh, is Game Informer? I didn't realize Game Informer was still around. I thought they'd stopped making it. I thought it was like at this point now it's an online thing. It's like a Game Informer like digital or some such. But at any rate, cool. I'm like I haven't touched a Game Informer magazine in probably 15 years. Like holy shit.
My brother has actually started like looking for old issues of like gaming magazines and selling them on, and he's making quite a lot of money out of it.
That's not bad. Yeah, because like honestly, those old like, Nintendo Powers and like I forget what I think there was one called Power Play, but there was various like different magazines that if you have them, they probably worth a lot. I mean, like also the same goes for like Star Wars magazines or like the like the Ultimate Guide to whatever, the Harry Potter or whatever bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I think I still have my Nintendo Power Mag. I was in I was in for Mario 3 tournament. I didn't get to finish, but was a side screen in my. Oh, that's cool.
Damn, man, you're in the Wizard tournament, the tournament from the Wizard. Did you love the Power Glove because it's so bad?
The Power Glove. That's funny. I never. Let me see. Never got a new copy of Game Informer since 2019. Okay, so yeah, I think they're done with it. Let me see. We still got about 25 minutes. Harrison, what are their old mans? Tell me some more old man things. Grandpa, what was life like when you were a kid?
I don't know. Yeah, old days of when internet video just wasn't possible. Like, I mean, was it T already mentioned in the chat about the other thing of the days when you had to choose between having the phone on or having the internet on? Yeah. And yeah, just those speakers. That was like when they launched, or no, not launched, but you could watch the trailer for episode 1 online in like 98 or sort of bit before it came out, and it was incredibly difficult to do because the waiting time it took to get it on any like regular home dial-up speed was insane.
Oh yeah, you remember how like 480p used to be like the top quality, or like if you could get something in 720, that was like the highest quality. Like that would like, oh dude, you have a 720. Oh my god, he has the high quality. I'm like, nah, no. Nowadays we're fucking on like almost 8K or some such.
Even going back to days like 2012, like, and you go back and look at like YouTube videos from that far back, it's like, damn, stuff was bad. Even when like everyone was like, entertainment has been revolutionized, people can make stuff at home, and then you go watch it now, it's like, Jesus, this poorly lit, pixelated, blocky piece of crap, but we all loved it because it was what we had.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I put this in the chat because I don't want to say it just in case, but it's not that word. It's not that word.
It's like the Korean word? Like,
yeah, it was pronounced Niga Higa. And the guy's name was Ryan Higa. And I think he was Korean.
Right.
So
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that dude was fucking hilarious. And that was like early YouTube. Like that was some of the best comedy that I've ever seen. Like, but yeah, very dated stuff. I was born in 78. I've seen it all. I mean, yeah, you saw the 80s. That's enough. Like the 80s, it's like the 80s alone is enough to be. Oh, and Aaron was born in 1980. Damn, man, I was born in 1994.
Man, we're the whippersnappers, and we didn't realize it.
Yeah. It's like, wait, I'm the baby. You were all along. Me. Yeah, no, but like it's weird to have this. It's kind of cool. A thing about our channel, we have a multi-generational like we have Mr. Action who's like 21, you and me who are in our 30s. We have like others who are in their 40s at this point, and we're all just kind of like hanging out, vibing over these different like nerdy topics that we're all talking about. You were a baby when the first Superman film dropped. Holy shit! Yeah. Okay. So yeah. All right, Harrison. What movie came out when you were born? Let's play that game.
Nothing good came out, and I think the only thing I know that came out in 1991 that anyone liked was like the first Sonic game.
Let's see. Yeah. All right. Oh, I almost gave up. So yeah, 1994 movies. The Naked Gun.
Naked Gun's a decent movie. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves came out in 1991.
Yeah, so the top earners are like around my birth, like around my birth year, were Schindler's List, The Naked Gun, 33, the third and 1/3, like that. I think it was the third movie, and then Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I feel old as crap now. John Walker, Clear and Present Danger. That's an old one. Holy shit. In 77, I had a Commodore 60. Yeah, so he was born in 77, had a Commodore 64 with games on cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah. I have seen such things, but it was never something that I had. We were never like a computer family. Like, we had consoles, so like I think my first console was a Sega Mega Drive. I remember my brother having the Nintendo 64, which was like mind-blowing at the time. And then me and him parted, and for a little while there was like a thing of like I was a PlayStation guy and Jack was a Nintendo guy, and he used to like give me shit for being a PlayStation guy all the time.
That's funny. I mean, I did the same thing. I was an Xboxer, and all my cousins were like PlayStation guys, so we were all constantly giving each other shit for having the other console. Yeah, so I'm like, and thinking back, that's just a stupid thing. We didn't have in my day. We didn't have your fancy cross-play. We had to be rigid and had to be segregated with our consoles.
I think as well, like when I think about it, it feels crazy to me that like he was like, "Oh, you got PlayStation." So I was like, PlayStation was kind of marketed as the more adult console. Like, like Nintendo always had that thing of really having to heavily censor games to put it on their consoles because they didn't like to have super violent games. Like, the Resident Evil port to the N64, my Resident Evil 2 where the blood's green, the infamous port of what was it, Mortal Kombat, where they made the blood white because they were trying to say it was sweat.
That I bet you that went over well when they...
yeah, it wasn't the best idea they'd ever had.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto Vice. Damn, dude. All right, so these are video games that came out for Mr. Action when he was born. But Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Zelda the Wind Waker. Dude, I remember playing Vice City when I was like 9. I had no business playing that game, but I was rocking that on my Xbox. Let me see. God, dude, just thinking back on how far we've come in these like, what? Not even not even on the channel, but just in like the last like 20 some odd years. Like, holy God.
Even like in the last like, well, less than that, because I was thinking I hooked up my old Xbox 360 because like I've still got like a library of games from that I was like I love these games, and I was like I'm going to sit and play some of my old 360 games. I think it was because I played the Dead Space remake, immediately wanted to play Dead Space 2 again because I love Dead Space 2, and man, going backwards just 2 generations to go to a 360 feels so old and clunky now. And I feel like I'm like, God, I don't even know you're born, you lad. How privileged I am that I'm like, ugh, I have to have a loading screen every time I go through a door. Ugh.
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. Although, like, it's that kind of thing that's like leading to our video games now being like 200 gigabytes to fucking download. Is you don't want to wait for the fucking door to open.
Yeah. Sorry, Hans has also said Conker's Bad Fur Day. My goodness, that game changed my life. I think, that was I was introduced to something the day that my brother let me sit down and watch him play Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Okay, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's like the foul-mouthed squirrel.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And like the Lola Bunny character.
Yeah, it was made by Rare, who were just the kings of the Nintendo 64. The absolute kings. They made the best stuff on it because, like, even before then, like Rare were putting out. They put out Conker's Bad Fur Day. They made GoldenEye. They made Perfect Dark.
Dude. GoldenEye and Perfect Dark are both like they hold up really well.
Yeah, they made Donkey Kong Country. They made Banjo-Kazooie. Absolute gem. And then Microsoft bought them, and they were ruined.
Did you ever play? So did you ever play the Fable games?
Yeah, I did. I didn't play the first one. I tried playing it years later, but the first one I played was Fable 2, and I loved Fable 2.
So Lionhead Studios also before that they used to have a computer game series called Black and White.
Oh yeah,
you had to play a god, and I'm like that was like kind of like their first thing of Fable, but you get to be choosing to be an evil or a good god, and it's just like, dude, it was so much fun. I was such a nerd playing that game.
Oh yeah, no, I did. Oh, Fable was great. Well, Fable 2 was great. Fable 3, I was very disappointed by.
Fable 3 could have been much better. Like, the fact that they really were like, oh yeah, all the stuff you do will make your weapons different and better. And like, no, it doesn't. I played that game like 4 times to try to get different configurations, and the weapons are always just the same bullshit.
And they took out some of this, like your appearance changing. And it's like, oh, when you do like special attacks, like if you're really good, you'll get angel wings on you, or if you're really evil, you'll see devil horns. I was like, no, I want to have actual horns. That was one of the best things about Fable 2. Was like,
yeah, that had horns.
It was great, yeah.
Although that was some messed up. If you actually went like full fucking evil, you ended up becoming like a demon in that game. That was great, but also like messed up. That was awesome. The Hitman games were fun. I love playing the original Hitman games. I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but I'm just. And John says that the Mass Effect 1 and 2 were great despite the loading screens, which I agree.
And to be fair, I'm not saying any of these ones are bad. I think it was more like I'd forgotten, like in my memory of all those games, I was like, they run just as well as any game today. It's all exactly the same. And then I went back and played it on my Xbox, and I was like, oh no. No, things changed. Actually, 2 generations of consoles makes a difference.
Compare the Spider-Man 2 video game from the Xbox, like the one made from the Tobey Maguire movie, and then compare that to the Spider-Man 2 of the PlayStation era of 4 and 5. Dude, night and day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, still a fun game though. I will absolutely go back and play Spider-Man 2 on like a port of that game any day of the week. Also, you know what's funny is I was watching the gameplay for this game a few days ago. Is the Punisher, the Punisher video game that they made for the console
on the PS2?
Yeah.
Did
you play that?
Oh hell yeah! I played the hell out of that one. Oh man, that was so much fun. I played that first level so many times because you're just trying to get the highest scores you can as you go through and trying to work out combos, and it's so good.
That game was the best. And yeah, like all the different like crazy ways you could like execute people or interrogate them. Like you could put a drill on a dude's head and like bring it. I'm like, oh, dude.
That was the only thing I didn't like about it. I didn't like that you could do the interrogation and then you could get him to tell you something and then finish it. But if you killed him with it, you lost points. And I was like, but if I just pick him up and then shoot him, then it's fine. That seems stupid to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I didn't like that either, but yeah, no, that game was awesome. Hand me down guitar. All right, Aaron says first game I ever had was a cassette game of a mech/plane for a system that was a white keyboard and with a wire Atari style joystick. Oh damn. Okay, fuck it. We're on that. What was your first game console, Harrison?
Yeah, the first console that I ever had was you guys call it a Sega Genesis. It was called a Mega Drive in Europe. So yeah, that was my first ever console. So I loved that console. It was weird. My brother actually had one, and for a long time, because of various family things, because me and my brother have different dads, his dad would buy him consoles, but I wasn't allowed to have consoles. I got told, well, you have a computer and you can play games on that, and it was the 90s trying to play CD-ROM games, and no one in my household knew how computers worked. So you'd just buy games and they didn't work, and then no one knew why, and you couldn't do anything about it. So the 90s for PC gaming was kind of terrible if you didn't know what you were doing. But I did play MDK. MDK on the PC was really cool. Used to really like that. But anyway, yeah. Eventually got a Mega Drive. That was secondhand. Like the PlayStation was already out. It was way behind everybody, but I loved that console. I played the hell out of Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 3. Sonic and Knuckles. Shout out to the incredible Sonic and Knuckles cartridge that you could open up and then put other Sonic games into it, and you could play those games with Knuckles in them. Fantastic.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah. They did some wacky stuff with cartridge gaming, like towards the end of that era.
That sounds actually kind of bitchin'. Like some of the cool stuff they used to do in video games, just because they could and they didn't, like, it wasn't as like, it was just a novelty kind of thing. But nowadays that it's just like, they've turned it into a money grubbing fucking business, and I'm just like, I miss the good old days of gaming.
Yeah, I mean, there was some bullshit they did. I mean, like Sega famously failed because they kept releasing weird sort of new consoles, sort of add-ons that no one understood and no one wanted to spend the money on. But yeah, no, one of my favorites was a shout out to anyone who played Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2, incredible game. I love it. Yeah,
I think my first console, Mr. Action says his first was the Wii, which you're a fucking baby. You are a baby, you child. Next, you'll tell me you used the fucking your first handheld was a Switch. I had a Game Boy, son. Not even a color. I had a Game Boy normal. I had a Game Boy black and white.
Actually, do you know what? Yeah, if we count it handheld, that was my first console. Was a Game Boy.
Yeah, if we're counting out handheld, then Game Boy. If we're counting just a normal console, it was a SNES, like the SNES.
I had a Game Boy, basically just to play Pokemon. I did have some other games, but I just played Pokemon all the time, and that is the only reason I've ever had a handheld console ever since. Was I would just buy the new one so I could play the new Pokemon.
He's not answering. It wasn't it? You fucker! It was a Wii. You did get a Switch. The Wii U was my first handheld. Oh, is the Wii U a handheld? I thought the Wii U was
It's you can play it handheld, but like you can't like take it with you the same way you can take a Switch around with you. Like
that is probably one of the coolest things that the Switch can do. I would say. Like,
oh yeah,
I love how I can dock it to my TV, and then when I get tired of that, I can just pick it up and take it somewhere.
Oh man, the Game Boy Pocket, the thing that looked like Game Boy Color but wasn't color.
I think that's the one I had. Yeah, it was a Game Boy Pocket, and then the Game Boy Color came out with like the backlight and the colored screen, and then the Game Boy Advanced, and I did have a Game Boy Advanced as well, and the Game Boy Advanced was fucking, oh my god, I sunk so many hours into that thing.
I had a Game Boy Advance SP, the one that was like a clamshell one that you could close.
Yeah, that was cool.
Had a backlight, which is the best bit about it.
Dude, Nintendo really rocked the handheld thing for a while. Like they had the Nintendo DS, which was great. I like the touch screen on the bottom and then the normal screen on the top. Like Big Brain Academy took hours away from my life. Yeah, and then Sony tried the PSP for a while and it just didn't take off. I've played the PSP a couple of times, but it just kind of wasn't worth it. It was weird. It was really expensive. All the discs were strange. You could buy movies for it. PSP was like, I think that's without the PSP there would probably be no Switch or like Steam Deck or anything like that. But early on, I wasn't crazy about the PSP. Because that's the same exact thing. Like the PSP does all the same shit that like every other handheld does. But it's just like, it's just overpowered. It's expensive. It's overpriced, and just kind of all they really wanted was the PlayStation logo on it. Aaron, the Game Gear. I did have a Game Gear for a little while. Man, the Game Gear. We even had the add-on for the Game Gear that let you watch TV. It was like a cartridge that you could put into it, and it had an aerial on it. Oh man, right, Game Boy. Weird Game Boy cartridges that has a. Did you have a Game Boy camera? No, I did not have that, but I did have one of those like cool little screens that you could like put up there so it would magnify the thing for you. Oh, like, had the lights that it would shine on it. Like all those little Game Boy like add-ons that you could put a little fucking speaker on there, a rumble pack, a goddamn like you put the little screen on there that made it again, it was a magnifying glass that made the screen bigger. It's like the whole thing was it was badass. I was gonna ask about the rumble pack because I remember I think the game I had was the Pokemon Pinball. Came with the rumble pack in it. I had that. I remember I played the hell out of the Pokemon trading card game
Game Boy game.
Well, all right. So it was like you were playing the Pokemon card game on the game, or
On
was
the
it
Game
like
Boy.
or was it just normal?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just like the Pokemon games. It was
No, it was like specifically the trading card games. You'd go around in the game challenging people to play the Pokemon trading card game.
That's weird. I never played that. That's weird. What?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just play Pokemon? Why wouldn't you just go play the trading card game in real life?
I think part of it was like because then you didn't have to buy cards. You could buy a game, and then you didn't have to like just keep buying packs.
All right, that's fair.
Similar thing to like, was it? It was kind of cool. I quite liked the first Yu-Gi-Oh video game that they had on the PlayStation. That was kind of dope.
Some of those Yu-Gi-Oh games got a little weird though, because they weren't actually like you're not playing like normal Yu-Gi-Oh, or you're not like some of them you are, but like some of them were like I don't know. It got kind of there was one game I played that was almost like Fire Emblem. It felt like it was like a grid system, and you had to use the monster like move the monsters around and fight each other. It was really weird. It just was Yu-Gi-Oh in name only.
Yeah, I basically only ever played that first game that I got, and it was because it was the PlayStation. It was like kind of janky PlayStation graphics. It was kind of cool seeing the cards like get animated and stuff. You saw the monsters come out, but they were just it made some of them look so grody, just with those awful blocky early 3D stuff.
Yeah, no. So I mean, that was a problem with the time, like the early like the 90s through the 2000s. Some of those like 3D models were just horrible. Like people try to talk about Metal Gear Solid and like Tomb Raider like it was the best. No, those polygons were fucking just awful. And same thing goes for like the N64 stuff.
You are right, but like I love it. I maybe it's just nostalgia, but I love that aesthetic. I love the fact that loads of indie games, like particularly horror games, have started going back to that old style. I think it's the coolest thing.
I mean, I do enjoy that about games in general, like them going back to like retro styles of because I mean, that's got to be easier on the programming or on like the like animating as well, but also B, it's just cool to have like old retro feeling games, like make a horror game that's 8-bit.
Yeah, and like some of the things like you can make a game that looks like the old Resident Evil games, but doesn't handle as badly as the old Resident Evil games do.
So all right. So yeah, John says that they should make a Star Wars game based on the in-universe game that Chewie and R2 are. That's Dejaric, I believe. That's like Star Wars chess.
It's a Star Wars chess.
I have to Google. Hang on. Is there a Dejaric game on consoles?
Andrew talking about making do with the little one game things you get from Walmart, like the baseball, pinball, slot machine type of games, like the Tiger Electronics sort of LCD games that you used to get. I had a kind of cool Star Wars one that was the whole little thing was the shape of the Millennium Falcon with a little LCD screen in the middle of it, and you just fly the Falcon between asteroids and shoot at TIE fighters. Loved it. And then, like,
that arcade game.
You shoot with the Death Star.
I love the Pod Racer arcade game that became an actual. I think it was actually a console game that got ported into an arcade game.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, like the pod racing game was a lot of fun. And from what I can see here, looks like there is in fact a Dejaric, a Star Wars game, is a casual video game based on the Star Wars franchise developed. Yeah, it's a LucasArts game that's made by Interplay. I don't know.
You want to get into some old man stuff? Remember when LucasArts made incredible games? LucasArts used to be awesome.
Fucking Secret Weapons over Normandy. Secret Weapons over Normandy, one of the greatest fucking piloting games of all time, and yeah, they don't do that anymore.
I'm a big adventure games fan, so like when LucasArts when they made the Monkey Island series, they made Grim Fandango, one of my favorite games ever. What else was they would? Did they make Loon? I think Loon was a LucasArts game. Day of the Tentacle. Like, man, those guys were great. They made the Indiana Jones games. And they made even some of their Star Wars games. I quite liked the Jango Fett Bounty Hunter game.
Also, Force Unleashed, one of the most like popular Star Wars games of all time.
True. Oh yeah.
Like, All right, so actually, I'm gonna Google what other LucasArts games there are, because yeah, I know they made I think they might have made one Indiana Jones game. Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I think it was like a point and click kind of
Yeah.
So yeah, they've made a bunch of different stuff, and I'm like, I enjoyed LucasArts for a while. Like it used to be really cool when George Lucas was running the shit.
What was it a LucasArts game? What was it called? Someone mentioned Shadows of the Empire. Was that the game that was like a sequel to one of the Jedi games, and it had like FMV cutscenes of like real actors?
Yes,
I used to love that game. I had that on the PC. I was terrible at it because I was a child.
Oh no! What you're thinking about is Star Wars Dark Forces. I think because that
Dark
one has
Forces. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that one, the one you're talking about, the Empire, Shadows of the Empire, that's like Star Wars Doom, basically.
Oh right. Okay.
But yeah, no, there were so many crazy Star Wars games too, like Rogue Squadron. They had like the Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games, all the Game Boy games that they had for Star Wars that were just basically like trying to be. They were the platformer versions of the movies.
Oh god, some of those was so difficult. Like I remember trying to play some of them, and like I had them back in the day on my Game Boy. I had like a cartridge that I think had 3 games on it, like one for each of the movies, and I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Also, Lego Star Wars, that was fun too. Like that was LucasArts at some of its best, I think.
I never really got into any of the Lego series. Like I used to play them because they were easy multiplayer games to play with people, but I never really enjoyed like the Lego games of any of them really. I played a lot of the Lego Marvel game. I think it was kind of cool that you got to play as like lots of different heroes, even like obscure ones. But I don't know, they just don't get me there.
Did you ever try out the old Battlefront games?
Possibly.
Like Star Wars Battlefront? Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like you might recognize it if you watch gameplay of it, you probably recognize what I'm talking about. But yeah, like the old like Battlefront games were some of the best. Like I know that a lot of people, this might be controversial, but I think the old Battlefront beats the new Battlefront.
No, okay, yeah, the one that okay, actually I did play. I play Shadows of the Empire? No. What was the first person shooter N64 game that was Star Wars?
No,
it was like
you're right.
played...
Shadows. I think Shadows of the Empires. You're right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I remember that one. Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. You're running around on like. That's why I said it was like Doom. It's like Star Wars Doom because like the aiming is terrible. Like there's barely any aiming. The graphics look incredibly similar to Doom. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I think we have reached the 1.5 hour mark. So I think it's time for us to wrap it up, everybody. And it's been a great episode. We've had a lot of people come in. We've had a ton of conversation, and it's been fun to just reminisce about the podcast, and then also just talk about reminisce about ourselves and our fucking old age. So I want to, of course, say thank you to everybody who jumped in. Thank you all for commenting and being regulars on our show or regulars on our the comments. And yeah, thank you for celebrating our 300th episode. And of course, thank you to Harrison for being here for the last 7 goddamn years. Here's to the next 7 years. Assuming that that our world doesn't rip itself apart, or at least that my country doesn't.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, but at any rate, until next time, again, thank you all for being here. I have been Gilbert.
I've been Harry.
And this has been the Fulcrum Entertainment Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and all that good stuff. And check us out, the other videos that we have, and be on the lookout for the next part of the audiobooks, audio comics, and any other stuff that we're making. And we will see you all on the flip side. We will see you for episode 301. And remember, everybody, as always, we are all Fulcrum. Take it easy, and we will see you.